This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Medicom Mafex John Wick. Now take a look at the front. We can see that the figure is showcased in your standard Mafex box, with an image of John Wick at the bottom. Turning the box around, we can see multiple images showcasing the figure in multiple posing positions with his different interchangeable parts and accessories. So with the box out of the way, let's crack this figure open and see what we have inside. And here's John Wick out of the box. And man, this is a pretty decent figure. I'm not a big fan of Mafex pieces, but overall it's not too terrible. And in full disclosure, I didn't get this piece for myself. This is actually from my best friend Dan. He is a giant John Wick fan, and Dan, if you're watching, this one's for you, man. So hopefully this is a really cool piece that I enjoy, but before we take a closer look at the figure, let's take a closer look at his accessories. So John Wick does come with a decent amount of accessories. Starting off, he comes with your standard Mafex stand, 2 interchangeable head sculpts, 7 interchangeable hands, and 4 different guns. So with the accessories out of the way, let's take a closer look at the Mafex John Wick. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at John Wick here. So I know a lot of people were excited about this figure, and for good reason. You know, I love the John Wick movies. I think they're great. I can't wait for part 3. And I think it's time that we start getting some John Wick figures. And I believe this is the first company to really come out with a John Wick figure. I know other companies are going to be coming out with theirs, so let's see how these are. But for right now, I want to take a look at the Mafex version. Now, I say Mafex. Do you guys say Mafex or Mafex? I say Mafex. I don't think it really matters. But I will say this off the bat. I'm not a big fan of the Mafex figures. They cost me a lot of money back in the day, and I stopped collecting. And I'm curious to see how this is going to hold up and see if I like it or I think it's good at all. For the most part, I think the aesthetics and everything look fairly decent. It's a pretty simple figure with a suit on and whatnot, simple black suit. I love the black on black with the black tie to sculpting of the shirt. All that looks really, really nice. Got the nice polished more belt buckle and that black strap like that. Everything about this looks pretty good. You know, it's what you would expect. It's just a suited character. I love how even like the joints themselves are kind of a little molded to look like wrinkles in the back of the suit. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And the nice polished black shoes. I'll get my camera to focus. That actually look really nice. Some nice wingtips there. Those look really, really good. No peg holes at the bottom. But again, overall, I think the figure itself looks decent. It's not terrible by any means as far as all this stuff goes, but it is what it is. I do kind of like it. Okay, so now we do get a good amount of accessories with this John Wick figure, so let's take a look at that. So we do get the standard head. That's the one that comes packaged in the box, and it looks really good. I do like it. It looks pretty clean and whatnot, and I do like that. What I do both like and do not like is the little dot matrix printing technique that they utilize to print that face on there and to get those paint apps on. It looks okay to the naked eye, but like, you know, once you get in a little close, it looks really sloppy, and I don't know, I'm just not a fan of that style. It doesn't really look all that good on some figures, and this one, it looks decent. It's not terrible, but it's decent. I do think they could have done a better job with that. Now, the second head, the one that I like and will most likely be getting in display, is with the scars and the scratches and things like that. I like that one a lot. I think that makes for a better John Wick, or a better looking John Wick figure. The beard looks really nice, and little scars all over the face and the nose and things like that. Again, all look really good with that printing technique. It's just, you know, when you get in close, it does look a little weird. But I mean, that's not too terrible. That's not a big deal breaker there. So the heads are just on standard ball pegs like that. You can just take the heads on and pop them on there, and they will hold on there pretty solid. We do get some interchangeable hands, so we do get a pair of closed-fisted hands. Those come packaged in the box. We do get a gripping hand for his left side, and a trigger finger hand for his right side. Now, I kind of wish, I don't know why they didn't do this. Why didn't we get 2 trigger finger hands? So he could hold 2 guns at once. That's kind of stupid for a John Wick, you know what I mean? I figured he'd have been able to at least hold like his 2 pistols at the same time. I think would have been really cool, but yeah, that's what we get. We do get 2 open palm hands for more like stylized posing and things like that. Then we do get this one hand for his left side, which is more with the fingers curled a little in. And that's for more like gripping like the barrel of some of his larger guns, which I like. I like that hand a lot. It helps for those 2-handed types of poses. And the hands just switch out. They're fairly easy on the little straight peg like that. I feel like the peg itself is going to split. You can just see that right there. It doesn't look all that great, and I worry about that splitting because I know in the past a lot of Mafex figures have had some QC issues with breakage and things like that. So I'm really curious how that holds up over time, depending on how much we interchange the parts here and there. So we got a ton of weapons, which is really, really nice. We do get this little pistol. This looks like a little Glock. I'm not too much of a gun enthusiast, so feel free to help me with the names of these certain weapons. But it's a nice little pistol and whatnot. It looks decent for the most part. And then we do get this larger one. It looks like a 9mm with some type of like silencer on it, which is really cool. I like that one too. I will say the sculpt is not bad by any means, but it really kind of does look like some kind of crappy 3D printing. It's it's not noticeable to the naked eye. It's mostly just, I guess, through my camera, and you look up really close. It has that really awkward texture of like 3D printing and whatnot. Do I mind it? Not really, but it's something to note. We do get this gun right here. I'm not sure what that is. It seems to be some type of shotgun. I'm assuming that's a type of shotgun, 2-handed. You know what I mean? I'm sure. Unless that's some type of machine gun. I'm not sure. But it does have a sight right there, so I don't think a sight would have a shotgun would have a sight, right? And it does have a nice little vinyl, nylon strap for sliding around his arm and whatnot. So that's very cool. I like that gun a lot. Then we do get this like little submachine gun, which is really nice, two-handed like that. Looks really good with the banana clip in there. The banana clip is not removable. That kind of sucks. But that's nitpicking right there. But again, with the nylon strap, and the nylon strap is really held on weird. The gun looks great, but the nylon strap itself is really awkward. So how it looks great. But this strap like holds on right here and then extends down here, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. Again, he can hold it around his arms and whatnot. I don't know, it doesn't fit all that well. You can kind of get it over the arms like this and have it around his back if you want, and do something like that just to holster. I don't know. I feel like this figure's missing something. I don't know. And these Mafex figures are getting more and more expensive. So I don't know. I feel like I'm not getting the value out of this. But I mean, it's still a cool looking figure for the most part. It is John Wick. You know what I mean? If you want a John Wick figure, this is the one to get right now. So let's see what else we have. So one thing I really do like, something that Rebel Tech and Good Smile actually do, is we do get a Mafex stand, which I like. Really nice solid stand here too. So you can open up the little clamp right here and say, put it around his wrist. Anyways, his waist. And actually holds up there really, really nice. I actually really do like Mafex stands. It's probably my favorite thing, honestly, about Mafex, outside the aesthetics and whatnot. But that actually grips onto there really nice, and just a good addition. I love it when companies actually do include stands. More companies need to do that, especially for these more expensive and higher end figures. So that's always, in my opinion, a welcome addition. Alright, so let's check out his articulation, because his articulation is where I think this figure is going to truly shine. The aesthetics are good for the most part. His accessories are, decent, but I think his articulation is going to kick ass, so let's check that out. So his head and neck are on ball joints, so that rolls around like so. It does look up that far. It is hindered by the length of the hair hitting the back of the coat, but it's not terrible. Can look all the way down that much. Pivot side to side and rotate left to right. Arms can go full 360, up and out that far. This is a ball peg in there, so it's kind of like a butterfly joint, but it does kind of just roll around. It'll help you get those poses that go all the way across the chest. No real bicep swivel. All the articulation is up in that ball joint. In the shoulder right there, I kind of wish there was a bicep, but at the same time, I understand why they didn't do it. They didn't want to mess with the skull that much, but you could still get some good motion in there like that. We got the double double jointed right here at the elbow, which looks pretty good for the most part. Like, it looks a little goofy, but it's not terrible. I've seen way worse. We got wrist joints that swivel around like so and hinge up and down. We get a nice double ball peg right here in the midsection, so that rolls around like that. Lots of good motion there. Does rotate left and right, pivot side to side, crunches forward about that much. That's really good. Back that far, about so. This will pop off that joint, so just be careful, but luckily it plugs right back in. This whole crotch piece is a softer plastic, which is nice because hip joints can kick forward all the way that much, back about that far, which is really good. You'll do the splits that much, which is really nice. Swivel up in that ball peg in there, so that's really good. We got, seems to be double jointed knees, but I don't know, maybe the bulkiness of the sculpt, it can only do just past 90, so that's okay. Not great, but it's still okay. It seems like we do get ball-like joints. Oop, right there, ball-like. Well, yeah, they're definitely ball joints. Pop right off, so I guess you could display his shoes just like that if you really wanted to. Pop those back on, so they can roll all the way around, rotate up and down. Nice ankle rocker, and then we do get toe articulation like so. So overall, I think this is a decent figure. It's by no means a great figure. Like I said, the prices of Mafex figures has been going up like kind of crazy. And I don't know, I personally don't think they're worth it. I think I am, but again, that's more of a preference thing, you know. If you're cool with paying the prices for the toys that you like, then by all means. For me, they're not worth it, but it's still a pretty cool figure. And again, the articulation is really good. For someone like this, where you get these cool two-handed poses, I still like it. And I'm definitely going to pick up some other John Wick figures to see how those hold up against this one. But overall, it's still a pretty nice piece. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And just for fun, here he is standing next to a little Lego Bat-Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Medicom Mafex John Wick action figure. Now overall, this isn't too bad of a piece. Even with my prior history of Mafex, it's not as terrible as I originally thought. Now that's not to say I absolutely love this piece, because in my opinion, there's a lot of things that I would definitely prefer different. But still, if you must have a John Wick figure and you cannot wait for the rest, then I can see why you'd want to pick this piece up. It has for the most part decent sculpt and paint, I like the accessories quite a bit, and the articulation is pretty well done. So with all these things, I give him a rating of 3 Bat-Bombs out of 5. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.